Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 11 Thursday night showdown. I've got a game for you between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns, and it is an ugly game. Total of 40 for this game. The best offensive players that we want to attack in this game are going against the defense that we probably want to play in this game. This is a very, very strange showdown slate. It is going to be very difficult to piece together teams that you feel comfortable or happy with. There is not a ton of value that is really popping on this slate. I think that this is another showdown where we're going to have multiple defenses and multiple kickers in the lineups that are challenging by the end, or at least that's how it looks to me here on Tuesday while we're recording this. Every single one of these shows is recorded live on Twitch. There's a link down below if you want to come join us. I stream 6 days a week during the NFL season. So come by and say hi. Much easier for me to get to know you there than it is for me to get to know you in the YouTube comments here. And I'm live for a couple of hours every single day during NFL season. So for this showdown slate, it's going to be a lot of the same. We tend to build lineups the same way every single showdown. We did a show before the season started with Drewby, the undefeated, undisputed king of showdown. He binked another 120K on Sunday night showdown. So if you have not watched that How to Win video, there's a playlist on this channel, How to Win on DraftKings. Look at that How to Win on single game showdown for 2019. If you're having a little bit of trouble, we're going to go over this particular showdown for Thursday night. I'm going to do my best to give you the plays and my opinions on which ones fit, which ones are the viable captain spots, how we're going to correlate them and build our lineups for this Thursday night. So if you want more content like this, please drop a like on this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and ring that notifications bell so you get notified anytime I post new content. People ask me what I use personally. I use dailyroto.com. They have the best projections in the industry as far as I'm concerned. They have a fantastic lineup builder. They do a great job with alerts for every single sport that's active right now. NFL, college football, NHL, NBA, which I think is the industry standard for projections and alerts and everything else. They do a fantastic job there, as well as every week golf. They have lineup optimizers for all of those sports, projections for all of those sports, and everything they do is top notch. There's a link down below in the description. Click that or just use promo code SMIZLIFE for 10% off at checkout. And I believe, I don't know if it's still going on, but I think that they just had a 7-day free trial for their elite membership, which covers all sports. So definitely go check them out and give them a try, at least for that 7-day trial. Make sure you use that promo code SMIZLIFE at checkout. Looking at this slate, it's ugly, y'all. It's not pretty, this game. Okay. These are one team that wants to grind it out in the Steelers because they lost their quarterback and now they have a quarterback that will not challenge downfield, which has all but made Juju Smith-Schuster completely irrelevant this season after being a early second round to mid second round pick in season long leagues. People thought that he was going to challenge for the league lead in targets, if not be top 3 in targets by the end of the year. Roethlisberger goes down. Mason Rudolph really can't get in the ball. He does not have one double-digit target game on the season. He has one 100-yard receiving game, triggering the bonus there. He just cannot find a way for Mason Rudolph to feed him the ball consistently, and it's a problem. It's just a problem. So with him priced where he is, 8,600 in the flex, and 12,900 in captain spot, I can't, right? There's less captains on this slate. Let's talk about them. One, I think that James Conner is going to be a very popular and viable captain, more than likely the highest raw projected player on this slate and the most viable in the captain spot because of how they run offense. He did miss last game. He did get hurt against in the last game against Miami, but he is back. The last game that he played in week 8 against Miami, but he is back now, practiced in full on Monday. We'll wait for the Tuesday practice report. We'll see 90 minutes before lock if he is active or inactive. If he's active, I assume it's going to be in the full role that he's been in before. And as much as they dump the ball down with Mason Rudolph, he has a ridiculously high floor, has access to touchdown equity, as well as everything centers around him when he is there and healthy. And as I said, the highest raw projection and one of the highest ceiling projection guys on this slate. So James Conner, one of the most viable captain spots for Thursday night. Nick Chubb, another one of the viable captains for Thursday night. As much volume as he's gotten, And people are going to say, but, you know, Nick Chubb has Kareem Hunt there now, and is he going to get the volume that he got before? Well, against Buffalo, an extremely tough defense, not unlike the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, one of the tougher defenses in the league for opposing running backs. He still got 22 touches. He still got 100 yards on the ground. He still broke another 20-yard run. This guy is a high floor, high ceiling candidate, high floor of volume, which gives him a high floor of usage. In the passing game as well. He's always on the field. Yes, they sprinkled in Kareem Hunt, who got 7 catches on 9 targets in week 10. So he's viable, is Kareem Hunt, but I do not believe that he is currently somebody who I am worried is going to take work away from Nick Chubb, because it's not like if Nick Chubb did not have Kareem Hunt there that he was going to get all of this usage too, right? All this usage was going to the backup running back. All this usage was going to Hilliard, was going to the backup guy. So now he may get 11 carries. He may get, 11 total touches, but he's not getting like 10 or 12 carries. They're coming in pass down situations. I think it's worse for somebody like Nick Chubb in the 2-minute drill at the end of halves, or if they have to race third downs. I think he's going to be the guy who comes out. But when it comes to red zone looks, when it comes to inside the 5 looks, I think that all those are going to still go to Nick Chubb. So all the touchdown equity, a little bit less usage in the passing game because of the lack of usage on 2-minute drill, end of half, and stuff like that. That's where he's going to be affected, but not in terms of his total volume. Odell Beckham Jr., 12 targets last week. They said they wanted to get him the ball more often. They did target him more often, but based on the coverage that he had from one of the best cornerbacks in the league on Buffalo, way less efficient. Only 5 catches, but the targets were at least something that gives me hope that they need to throw the ball to Odell Beckham Jr. 10 plus times a game for this offense to get rolling, and hopefully Baker can show a little bit more efficiency. Yes, there is still a tough matchup with the cornerbacks that they have in Pittsburgh, but it's not the same. Pittsburgh's just a really good defense, and if they can get pressure through this bad offensive line, that could cause more problems, because Baker Mayfield has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. Although I can throw him a little bit of defense that he has not thrown an interception the last 2 games against 2 pretty tough pass defenses in Buffalo and Denver. Pittsburgh, more of the same, but this game being at home, if they can keep him somewhat clean, which is still in question, right? This offensive line has not done a good job this year for Cleveland, and Pittsburgh defensive line has done a great job of pressuring, and we'll get a look at them in a little bit. Baker Mayfield, one of the higher raw projected total guys on the slate, and with somebody like Odell Beckham Jr., and when you pair him with how good Jarvis Landry has been playing, and the volume for him being extremely significant with 33 targets over the last 3 weeks, and at a value price in the flex or 12K in the captain spot, Jarvis Landry, another guy who I believe is viable there. So if we're playing Landry in the captain spot, I'm going to make sure that I build a group on Daily Roto in that optimizer that puts Baker Mayfield tied to him, exactly 1 Baker Mayfield in every lineup that has Jarvis Landry in it. If I'm building Baker Mayfield at captain lineups, I'm going to be sure that every one of those lineups has all of his pass catchers. Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., probably going to include Kareem Hunt in that with his usage last game. May include Higgins in that. Going to include, is it Harris? No. Harris was the backup. Seals Jones was getting a few targets too. These guys are kind of one-off, kind of spotty guys. If Seals Jones misses this game and Demetrius Harris is the only guy, I'll include him in that. And I will also build a bring back group. We've talked about this before. I'm going to include at least 2 of his pass catchers. And I'm not going to say that Nick Chubb can't be in that group, but I'm not going to force him to be a part of that group. If he ends up in those lineups that get built by the optimizer, I'm okay with that. The other side of this, we're going to include every single player on Pittsburgh from top to bottom, including quarterbacks, not including defenses. I will also include in Baker Mayfield's Browns group the kicker, because kickers are more correlated with their quarterbacks than people want to believe, and make sure that at least one of the Pittsburgh Steelers is in that group. Same thing for Mayfield, but I'm probably not going to have very much Mayfield. Not Mayfield. I'm probably not going to have very much Mason Rudolph at captain this week. I just don't see the ceiling for him. And maybe he'll get there. Maybe he'll have a 25-point fantasy day, but I just don't see very many paths to it. With as much as they throw the ball and as much as they rely on the run around the goal line, and the possibility that Jalen Samuels runs a little bit of the Wildcat that we saw the last time that they were on primetime games. So I'm not seeing the ceiling possibility for Rudolph, and I want guys that I believe have a ceiling possibility at that captain spot. We do have to talk about kickers and defense with this game, because the ugly games that we've seen recently on these island games, Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday nights, typically we build a group on Daily Roto's Optimizer that limits to one of these 4 players. But I've expanded that for these games that have paths to success for kickers and defenses. We talked about this on the Monday Night Football video, that we wanted to have multiples, maybe allow as many as 3 in certain lineups for the optimizer to build. Usually I limit to 1, sometimes I'll limit to 2, and as you saw on Monday night, it was a big kicker and defense game. Now, a kicker and captain would have to kick 4 or 5 field goals, with 1 or more being a 50-yarder. So I'm probably not going to have kicker and captain lineups, but defense and captain, where there are more paths to 20 to 34-point fantasy days, which you multiply that by 1.5, they are more viable in the captain spot and allow you to jam in all the other players. But as I said, do you really want to play the Browns defense? Yeah, they can get after a team and they can get pressure on the passer. They didn't against Buffalo, but multiple sacks in basically every other game this year. So they are a viable defense in this game, but Mason Rudolph just does not challenge as much as you would want him to. You're going to have to rely on fumbles. The Steelers defense, however, has been doing absolutely amazing with fumble recoveries and causing interceptions and pressuring the quarterback. Everything here, interceptions and defense, typically comes from pressure on the quarterback, and the Steelers do a great job of getting pressure, although they are a team on the road. So this is a game where I'm not going to limit to one of this group here. I'm probably going to have as many as 2 in any one lineup, and I might even allow the Steelers defense. Usually I'll disallow players, a defense and players on the same offensive team, from being in a lineup if I think that's going to be a high scoring game. But this one being a low scoring projected game, the possibility of sacks, fumbles, defensive touchdowns in a spot like this is a very unique island game for a single game showdown slate. I'm not going to disallow those things as well. So that's basically it. There's not a lot of value. Vance McDonald running an awful lot of routes. I think that he's a viable value play if you want to target him. 7 targets in each of the last 2 games. We talked about Kareem Hunt and him being back and how much he's going to be used in the 2-minute drill at the end of halves, or if they're on 3rd down. I believe that he is going to be the primary 3rd down back moving forward for the Cleveland Browns. We saw 7 targets out of James Washington, but he kind of ebbs and flows, and his productivity does as well. Even if he gets 6 targets, he does not have a very high catch percentage, as we saw by this 1, this 3. He does have big playability, and he's got since college has had a great contested catch rate. So if they do target him in the end zone, he has a possibility of coming down with it. But there's not a lot of value plays on this slate like there were on Monday night. Not a lot of value plays on this slate outside of the kickers and defense either. So it's really going to center around everything that we have up here with multiple kickers and defense to try and fit them in. That's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure that you drop a like on this one and subscribe to the channel and ring the notifications bell, and go follow me on all the socials, which are down below in the description, and go visit Daily Roto and use that 7-day trial, and have yourselves a very nice day and the best of luck on Thursday night. Catch you guys later. Bye.
He's a legend.